Hello, everyone. You want me to start, Julie?
Yeah, let's
Hi.
just flow with it. Hello.
And welcome to our. Well, we were actually, call actually came around with an interest in our own bodies as to, so much changing in our bodies, so much changing with how we be with our bodies, with the food that we eat, with how we kind of showing up, And it was interesting because Julie and I met years back in Costa Rica at my first CF training. It was Julie.
Mm.
I don't know which one because Julie's been in Access since forever.
One of the OGs.
Oh, geez. And we got to talk about a lot of stuff back then, and the beautiful the what I really received from this friendship of ours is there's this energy that we're willing to be with each other that really is of a question and really is of expansiveness. And there's this, and it's like I can just pick up the phone and say, hey, Julie, let's do this, and Julie can do the same with me. And I think I really love that about what we've created, and I just wanted to acknowledge that.
Thank you. Yes. Yes. There was this instant connection, and I think a love of beauty and embodying it and sharing that beauty. And as we get older, especially women and in our bodies, there's so many points of view about what happens and what's going to have to happen. And, by this age and by that age and hormones and all of this, there's so many points of view. There's so many answers, and it's really hard to not fall into that. So, uh, so I just love getting together with groups of people and starting to interject some questions so that there is a different possibility. And even if you have locked in certain points of view and answers, we can change it. And that's the beauty of the access tools. I know for me, when I first went through menopause, um, I was in resistance to all those things. So of course it occurred anyway. But I've changed it. And every day we can be different with our bodies. Every day we can be a question and open to something different. So, what
Yeah.
kinds of things would you guys be interested in chatting about? Yeah.
If I can just share here, Julie, what you just spoke
Mhm.
about, um, your how menopause just happened. Like none of us really believe that we'll reach there, because when
Mm.
you're 20s and your 30s, you hear your mom and your aunts and your friends' mom talk about this hot flushes, and they talk about sleepless nights, and they talk about dryness, and you're like, that's not going to happen to me. And it almost comes as a knowing that it's a choice. And it also comes with a certain amount of resistance to it, as though it's something that's really wrong and you mustn't have it. And so it kind of creates this funny energy, which we can probably call it the cognitive dissonance with your body, with aging, which kind of starts really young. It starts very unconsciously, it starts very just by the way, but you hold on to it because there's so much out there in the market that talks to you about the side effects of menopause and how you are at the effect of hormones. And there's so much out there that you really land up hearing constantly and really making true, that even if you know that you have a choice, somewhere you find yourself going down that rabbit hole to probably make yourself look normal, and to believe that that's a great conversations start with my friends. I mean, imagine,
It's so true.
right? Yeah.
Well, it's funny. Um, even even as a younger lady and having menstrual cramps, I remember when I was really young, I didn't have cramps. And then I saw a commercial for some medication for it, and they went like, "Oh, cramps." And then all of a sudden I started having cramps. And it wasn't until Access, like years later, that I started being in the question of it, and then I didn't have cramps anymore.
Wow.
And so, like, all of these things are just points of view that we either align and agree with or resist and react to. And having that space of curiosity of what else is possible, you don't have to have either. You can have a completely different reality.
Yeah.
So can we do a clearing? Because that feels like
He's really, ooh.
everything this brings up and all the resistance and reaction that we have to everything that's being projected at us and our bodies and everything that we've aligned and agreed with as well. Let's destroy and uncreate it times a godzillion.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100 shots, boys, poets, species, creations, and beyonds.
Wow. And my sister calls me a lot and tells me, "Oh, I heard this thing, and you can take this hormone, you can take that," and all like everything that you have nowadays as a symptom is now menopause. Stomachache, it's menopause. Headache, it's menopause, you know, and they have the answer. It's hormone replacement therapy. And I'm like, wait a second, there's a body process that's about balancing hormones. So why aren't we using that? Like, what else is truly possible?
And Julie, along with that balance, that particular process you talked about, a lot that actually shifted in me was actually the biomimicry process.
Mm,
Because how much are you mimicking everyone around you with that's something that's just supposed to happen to you.
hmm
And even the new family process again, where you start to create what happened to your mother. Like, have you heard people saying, um, if your mom had hysterectomy, you're going to have one too, right? If your mom had difficult pregnancy, you're going to have it too. Or did your grandmom have it? Or did your aunt have it? Everybody's got those little points of views which they keep directing at you, right? And you're like, oh, but I didn't have a difficult pregnancy. My mom had a really tough one. Must be wrong. So in the 7th month or 8th month, you go and create something to identify yourself as your mother's daughter. So what identification are you fighting for that has you hurting your body?
mm.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100 shots, boys, poets, species, creations, and beyonds.
Yeah, that's so great. It's funny, my mom had a very easy pregnancy and didn't gain much weight at all. And so that's what I created. Like I wanted to mimic that. So like, wow, what else am I mimicking that? It's like when you ask for wealth and riches like Donald Trump, you don't want to get his hair. So we didn't like specify, we just get the whole thing.
Yeah, so true.
Everything that brings up right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, species, creations, and beyonds. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I can just imagine all of us by mimicking Donald Trump, and maybe not the money came as easily, but the orange hair did. Fun sight.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I used to have a lot of customers coming into my shop when I had a retail space who would come in and they'd like start to get a hot flash. And I'd ask them, hey, have you ever asked, what is this? Because I've known a lot of people that it wasn't actually, menopause or premenopause. It was actually an awareness from the earth asking for your energy. And I taught them the 1, 2, 3, and they'd give it to the earth and it would go away. And they're like, oh my God, like that didn't last 3 hours. That was amazing. um, and so when I started getting it, I would just give it to the earth. And it's amazing how a simple shift like that can change your perspective on what your body is showing you.
Yeah, that. I mean, if you heard the last part, what your body is showing you, that, but we generally go to judging what shows up in our body instead of just receiving the information that the body is actually giving you.
Yeah. And, it's okay to not pay attention and to do all the things that everybody else does. But then you might get to a certain point where it doesn't work for you anymore to be experiencing what's happening with your body. So you can change it. And that's the exciting part. I think for me, it was during COVID, like the whole year leading up to COVID, I was maybe going through that transition. But because we were stuck in our houses and you couldn't move and you couldn't do all the things that you could normally do, um, I just noticed everything slowing down as well as the molecules in my body. But that was a choice I made, and I didn't realize it for months. And then I was like, wait a second, like this doesn't feel like my body. And I started making other choices and moving those molecules and moving my body, and it shifted again. So anywhere you feel like you're stuck with the choices that have led you to right now, will you consider that you can choose again? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100 shorts, boys, povads, spacies, creations, and beyonds. Whew.
Okay, that, yeah. Do we have any questions? Anyone would like to ask or something that you'd like to share?
Hmm.
No? Okay, we keep talking.
Yeah, we can just
Enjoy that. Anyway, Julian,
chat and chat.
we can do that. This
Yeah.
the other day, I was speaking with a friend and she shared this really interesting Instagram reel with me, which talked about men having menopause. And,
Hmm.
and it's really funny because my husband has a WhatsApp group with his friends and it's called Men at Pause. So I was like, wow, how are men trying to mimic the menopause? So they have a reason and justification
Hmm.
that we are using
Hmm.
to get what we want. I mean, how many of us use that? We
Hmm.
use that to get what we want. And it's okay to use that. But it really becomes a problem when you start to buy that as your reality.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like, what if you didn't need to buy any of that as real and true?
Yeah. Oh, do you see the chat?
Or do we?
Body keeps bloating suddenly. Yeah. That is a thing. Um, very interesting. And what if we didn't go to answer and problem? What if we went to question? And you don't have to have the answer. That's the other thing. People are always looking for the answer. So they ask a question like, what's wrong with me? Looking for the answer. But what is your body showing you? What's required? What does it desire to eat or not eat? What can we change?
And one of my go-to questions around something like this is generally, if this isn't bloating, what is it?
Mm,
Like, my body is bloating is really a conclusion that your body hears, and now it must bloat more so it can prove your point of view. Because your body has no points of views, right? It shows up as your points of views. So if your point of view is that my body is bloating, hey, Heta. So if your body is showing up as, if you're showing up with the point of view that my body is bloating, your body has no point of view but to bloat. So if this is not bloating, what is this? What does my body want me to know? What is my body showing me?
yeah. I mean, all through our lives, we don't eat the same amount. When you're young, you're growing a lot, so you may be consuming more. It changes in seasons. I know for me, my body doesn't like to eat a whole lot of heavy things in the summer, but maybe in the winter, it likes warm, cozy, you know. So just paying attention to what it wants and asking what it would like can really shift that and staying out of the point of view. I know sometimes it's really hard because like it'll happen and then it'll happen again and then you're like, oh wow, this is the thing that they were talking about, and it triggers all of the biomimetic mimicry and all of the projections about what happens when you turn 50, 60, 70, whatever. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all 100 shorts, boys, poads, species, creations, and beyonds.
So everything that's projected at you and everywhere you put into those projections and all the big five that you're using to create your body as this reality, would you destroy and uncreate that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all 100 shots, boys, poets, species, creations, and beyonds. Because you want to recognize, guys, that this reality sells you aging. It's one of the biggest industries out there. It's one of the biggest industries to make them rich. But they're using your body to make them rich. They're selling you judgments of your body so they can get their accounts growing. Now, are you going to really allow that? Are you really going to, allow your body to feed them? Or would you be willing to just ask a question if you could recognize that aging is one of the biggest businesses out there in the world, whether it's health food, whether it's your hormones, whether it's your anti-aging creams, whether it's Botox, whether it's whatever it is out there being sold to you, it's packaged so brilliantly that you really feel that, oh, this is the magic I've been looking for. And if I just invest so many dollars or so many rupees into this, I'm going to look young again. But the natural way of being for your body is to change and to transform and to mutate. It's not to age, but you've been sold the point of view that it must age. And now this reality has the answer to what they sold to you as a problem. That's what creates it as a techie reality.
God, it's so perfect. And if you don't buy into it, you're wrong because everybody else does. I love it.
Everything that brought up, would you all destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and park, all 100 shots, boys, poets, species, creations, and beyonds. Water retention in the body despite watching what I eat. Also, my period suddenly comes sooner than it used to. I'm 40 years. Yeah, so is your body changing? You know, is your body changing? What if it's not wrong?
Yeah, I mean, we've never learned how to nurture our bodies. Maybe our bodies were nurtured when we were babies, if you had kind parents, they nurtured, but like your body is your best friend. It's the thing that you're spending your entire life with. So what if you nurtured your body? What if you listened to your body, really listened, built that muscle of perceiving, knowing, being, and receiving with your body? Completely different experience. And it doesn't take a whole lot of effort, but it does take building the muscle and clearing deep-rooted points of view. And so Chandana and I have a Zoom coming up in a couple of weeks called The Gift of Aging, where we're going to dive deeper into this subject and do clearings and share tools so that you can have the gift of your body.
And just to know that if it's not a wrongness, what strength is this? What strongness is this? And what, with I was looking at my photographs the other day of before I started with Access, and I think this was actually during my 3-day body class recently. Richa's here. Okay, so she was one of them, and she's the one who actually I think talked about it, where she was like, "I saw your photographs, I saw your videos, way back, like 10, 11 years back, and I see you now." It says you look younger than what you did back then, and you look so different now. And I'm like, yeah, but according to this reality, I should have aged. Or else, people would be like, what are you using? What cream are you
Yeah.
using?
Yeah.
What is the anti-aging cream you're using? The anti-aging cream I'm using is just the tools of Access.
It's true. They say you have the face you deserve by the time you're 50, based on like your like how happy you are or how angry you are or how you are. And before Access, I was 39 when I found Access, and I had those lines here. I had them. Now I don't. I haven't done Botox. I haven't done anything except Access and running bars and yeah, and being happy.
Being happy, which is, wow, yeah, just that being happy, that willingness to be the joy with every age that comes to you, with every age that you turn. Because if you look at it as age just being a number, how much are you gaining every year that you're not allowing yourself to receive because you're looking at it as getting older?
Hmm. Yeah. And it's interesting because I talked to Gary about this because like facelift process is one of my favorite. And when I do a facelift or when I facilitate a facelift class, the changes of before and after are so dramatic. It's much more than other before and after photos that I've seen. I'm like, oh, I have a gift with this. Okay. So I asked Gary and I said I started doing reverse aging naturally, telecalls. And I said, it's just sort of not really taking off. And he said, wrong title. And I never really understood why, because it seems like a lot of people want reverse aging. Maybe they don't want it naturally, who knows? But it's like keying into the judgment. So he gave me the title, The Gift of Aging. And that is a very different energy and a different space. And I've just barely scratched the surface with it. So I'm really excited to see where we'll go. The gift of aging. I mean, who thinks of that? Everybody wants to look younger. Everybody's getting fillers and, Botox at 25 or 30. Like, what?
Yeah.
What is the gift of aging?
Diksha has a question. She's asking, how about unexplained aches and pains and I've checked it doesn't belong to someone else. Okay. So
You've checked? Are you sure?
Yes. It's been a while, so yep, I'm certain about that.
Mm.
so you can always ask everywhere I meet mine. And what is your body asking you? What gift and what beauty lies beneath this pain?
Okay.
It isn't pain. What is it?
Yeah.
And Julie, I'd love your take on this too.
Yeah, I'm just looking. It's like I can't really get all the way in. So I would, first of all, destroy and uncreate everywhere you bought it as yours, everywhere you're making it a problem, and everywhere you're making it solid and unchangeable.
Yeah.
Brown, Good, Bad, Pod, Poc, all 100 shorts, boys, poads, bases, creations, and beyonds. And then a lot of times I will ask my body to dissipate and release, give it to the earth. And one of Gary's questions, that's one of my favorites, is how far would I have to expand out beyond my body for this not to be an issue?
Okay.
So that can help. And then once you're that space, it allows the space between the molecules of your body to become more malleable and it can
Yes.
shift the energy. But when we're like contracted and looking at it as a problem, we create it more solid.
Got it. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Body processes run, get your bars run. And the
Mhm.
like, yeah. Okay, so any more questions, my lovelies? Okay, so we can always share our, we'll share the, how about, what is this? I developed an eye retina disease 4 years back. It's called macular degeneration. Do you know we have a body process for that? Exactly for macular degeneration. The doctor said it
Mm.
to people after 80. So far, there's no cure. I did so many. Did you do the macular degeneration process, honey? And did you ask your body what process it really requires?
Mm.
Hello, I haven't done that particular process. It's the first time I'm hearing about it, to be honest.
It is a brilliant process. It's not in the 3-day body class manual, but it's gone to the reference material. But somebody in the past will be able to run it for you. And it has created a lot of shift for people.
And you can also ask, what vision is this that has nothing to do with my eyes?
I like that question.
I had some eye stuff last year, and it's good to get on top of it before it becomes to the point where you have to get surgery. So you can ask about that because, you know, all the things that are going on in our body are usually from points of view about something like, I don't want to see this, I don't want to know this, I can't stomach that, this is a pain in the neck, you know, all these things, we lock in things in our bodies. So using that body process for correcting vision or the macular degeneration one, but also asking, you know, what vision is this that has nothing to do with my eyes? Might create some space.
All right, thank you so much. This helps a lot.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. Are we good? So we can always share. Julie, do you have the link? We could share it here for them.
Let me get it really quick.
don't know how to post it from my phone to the laptop. You're welcome. Or we can always send it in when we send out the replay, we'll add it to that.
It is. I've got it.
Great.
And yes, we can do that too. But for those of you, and there is country pricing.
Yes.
And I've got to add your link as well right now. It goes to my website after the Access website, but we'll add yours in there too to make it easier for people in India. And will we share this on YouTube?
Yes, we will.
Everybody okay with sharing
Yeah.
sharing this video? Awesome.
Yes, Prasanna? Yeah, okay, great. I thought you were going to say. My friends, thank you all. Thank you, Julie. Thank you. This was fun conversation. Just a little.
Thank you.
Just a little.
Thank you.
And what else is possible?
Really. All right. Bye, guys.
Here, everybody.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Welcome.